All right, so we are going to start looking at data query. Data query is going to be a separate application than the Ascent application. So just like Breeze, you have to close completely out of Ascent and then find the data query application. So I'm going to go in the bottom left-hand corner and search for data query. And I'm going to click on it and it's going to open up this separate application. Now it's set up very similar to what Breeze Suite was set up to. You have your clauses, and that's where you're going to build what you want to query. And then you also have the setup button. Once you go to the setup button, this is where you tell it what you want to display on the report of the query. So we're going to start by building our clauses. Right now, we have one query in here. If we want to add a new one, I'm going to select new. We'll say new query. And now we're going to start to build our clauses. So just for an example, we will have our first clause be a PF variable. We can say we want to pull from the FEC test, and then over here in the next dropdown you'll have a list of the different variables that are available. So for our purposes, we'll say we want an FEV1 in the pre-stage to be greater than 2.0. So now we have one clause built for our query. And if we want to add more clauses, say that we want to add some visit info clause, I can click the plus sign on visit info and decide if I want it to be an and, or if I want it to be an or for the query. I'm going to say and. Oops, I'm going to say and. I already did it. Okay. And then drop down and we'll say with a workstation equal to, and then if you look over here, because this database only has one workstation, it's already there for me. So that's what I'm going to pick. If I want to say add another clause and say demographics, well, I clicked on demographics and now I can say, well, I want to query people with a last name that contains. And now I've set up my clauses, so it's going to look for 3 different items. My FEV1 being greater than 2 on a workstation of T. Peterson with a last name that contains PED. If I come to setup, this is where I'm going to decide what's going to display on my report. So right now it has first name, last name, patient ID. If I don't want something, I can get rid of it. If I do want something, let's say I want that FEC pre-variable FEV1 to show up, I can just come in here, take a look for it, and we'll say I want something else in there. I want the FEC in there, and I want, let's go back to demographics, I want my medications to show up. Again, this is where you're going to set up what the report is going to be, whether it's portrait, whether it's landscaped, and what is going to show up on that report. So then we'll click save. Now that we have everything set up, I can run it. And now because I narrowed it down so much, I may not have anything, so I can run my query. It's gonna look at my database, and here, ooh, it found one result. So now I'm going to preview that one result. And here I can say first name Tracy, Peterson, patient ID. My FEV1 was greater than 2. And I didn't have any medications. Now I can print this, or if I wanted to export it, I could have clicked export. If I want to just directly print it, I can directly print it. And now this query is saved in this drop down. If I want to edit, I can edit. So now I'm editing this new query. Now let's run it again. Well, now there's 32 results found because I took out a couple of those clauses. My setup is the same. I've got FEV1, FEC, medications, and I'm going to preview. And so now those multiple tests are going to show up. If you want to add another one, you can add another one. If you don't like what you did, you can come in and delete it. And that's it. Thank you.